In this video we are talking about how to survive in a long distance relationship.
And some tips from our own experience. Ahoj! And welcome to another relationship talk video with Simi and Danny.
In this series we are talking about any kind of relationship problems or questions coming from you guys.
Exactly, and except of these kind of videos we are also doing on our channel vlogs and some couple games and other funny videos, so if you are into it, consider to subscribe.
This time we got an email from a friend of ours and he was writing this.
Friend?
Yeah, of course we call them always friends. I do the description text in the videos and they're always like, "Ah, we're friends." Doesn't matter. So he wrote us already a while ago actually. "Ahoj Simi and Danny. My girlfriend and I are in a long distance relationship. We've met on Instagram and decided a month ago to be a couple. Unfortunately, we are quite far away from each other. She's from Sweden and I'm from Mexico. We would like to meet soon, but I have to stay at my workplace still for 1 year. Do you think it's possible to survive for such a long time? I'm really afraid of losing her."
Aww.
And a sad smiley. So what we can say, I mean,
First of all, yes, it is possible. And yes, it is worth it. But there are many things you have to think about before you are really diving in and before you take it serious.
it is possible to survive. We also survived it for 1 year. We also had kind of 1 year. What, longer than 1 year? Longer than 1 year. The girl has the numbers, as I always say. So the first thing, of course, we don't have a lot of background to it, so I don't know what happened in that month, of course, with you two and how far you are in it, but you really should maybe consider or evaluate, is that a word? I think yes. If this relationship is going somewhere. You have to really know, okay, I want to wait for this person and I want and I see a future in it.
Exactly. Me and Danny, we were always talking about our future and the possibilities when we started to talk a little bit more regularly and when we were like chatting and Skyping all the time.
That's what I meant, like, because it's 1 month already and if I imagine how our first month was, it was like we were constantly writing, we were constantly Skyping
Every day.
all the time, like almost 24/7. And I'm not kidding you, it was like day and night, and I was already afraid that I will not make my studies because I was awake till 4 o'clock in the night sometimes and had 3 hours of sleep and then to the university and so, and we were talking about everything. Favorite gummy bear color and all these kind of things. So we were also talking about what we imagine in the future, what we want to do, what we don't want to do.
Yeah, you have to somehow take the time and figure out in the beginning if this person is a possibility for you for a real relationship.
Yeah.
And if it could be even a partner for a life, maybe even.
That's true. But of course we are considering now everything as perfect as possible.
Yeah, so they want to be together.
How is it possible for him to survive this 1 year?
Okay, the first thing first and the most important, you already said that.
Stay in contact. Keep?
Keep contact.
Keep contact, okay. We take that one.
Yeah, nowadays it's very, very easy, I would say. And especially when you meet on internet with someone, then it is like that you have internet. That's amazing, and you can use it and you can really juice it out.
We use, for example, always Skype
And WhatsApp.
most of the time, and WhatsApp. And I have to say, that was really helping so much. I came from university, I put the Skype on and we were living next to each other, kind of, when we were at home, of course.
We were not all the time talking, like now we are living together, we are also not constantly talking. But he was there on Skype, doing his things, and we were just like in one room, kind of through the computer. So sometimes I was even learning, or we were watching a show together, the same show, through Skype.
Sometimes she was even just sleeping.
Yeah, really.
This is really true.
Yeah, but nowadays it's also FaceTime and iMessage, and it's like a lot of possibilities. It's not about what kind of app you will use, but you should try to keep in contact constantly. Like, write what are you doing, right? Where are you going? What is your schedule? What are your plans for the day? That the person has the feeling a little bit that he is the part of your life, that he is there with you, that he knows what is going on and where are you and what are you doing.
Yeah, definitely. I remember it also. We had a harder time, especially in the beginning, because Simi had an older phone at the time. She could not even download WhatsApp, or at least not the newest version of it. And I was organizing her a phone where it was possible to have it, because she was living somewhere in the forest at the time.
That's another story.
That's another story, but whatever. She was living in the forest with the horse and her Wild Western show, whatever.
Summer job, yeah.
But at her summer job, and she needed internet there, so we tried kind of everything, and that's why we organized the phone, that she can have the newest WhatsApp, that we can still write, because there would be no other possibility at the time.
Yeah, sometimes you can misunderstand emotions, and I mean there are smileys and emojis now.
Use smileys. That's really the biggest tip now from everything. Girls are sometimes very weird understanding things, which guys are like, oh, what? So put there the smileys that she knows that you are smiling.
And also, guys, voice messages, because the feeling of the voice of the other person is like completely different feeling. Just, hey,
or thinking of you. Do that.
I wanted to say something else, but yeah. That voice, I think it has like a little bit personal touch to it, and so
true.
Definitely do things like this. That's a tip number 1.
So that's now the big circle of communicate over devices and with video and voice message.
Just use the modern time of internet.
use technology. Tip number 1. And smileys. It should be also about it that you talk about your dreams and maybe dream together about something, like dream about holidays you will make together maybe once, and
future,
and building a house maybe later if you really make it possible and get together somehow.
Yeah, I really think that it's very important that you have this vision, these dreams together, because that's something you can hold on. If you have like no goal, it's very hard to go through it, but you can take all of this pain and hold it because you have that vision and that dream there together. So that's really important to have a goal to go to.
If you are talking in these directions and make plans together, the bond is just much more serious for both of you.
You have to take it serious.
It is harder to just loosen it up.
If you are in a relationship, you are in a relationship, and it doesn't matter if it's long distance or not. So you should of course behave like you are in a relationship. But I think in a long distance relationship you have to maybe a little bit more watch out for the situations that could be like misunderstood, or like that could bring jealousy inside. Like there is something in that long distance relationship with the jealousy.
You cannot even trust a person 100% in the beginning. It's just not possible.
It's hard, you don't know that person.
So it's your job from both sides to build this trust up. And this is like a hard thing, of course, and you have to think about it all the time, so that communication and all this this talking with each other and letting each other know, which is a lot of work, you have to really put this work in.
And one little tip I still want to add on: send real mail.
Real mail?
Yeah, like real material things.
Ah, you mean like little packages or something, like little gifts?
And I think this could be good also already when you till now didn't even meet, but of course also after that meeting, or take something with you, like maybe even t-shirt or little teddy bear, or I don't know, whatever. But something material that the other person can hold.
I sent Simi for Valentine's Day, of course, a rose that time. Yeah. We were not together that time, or still.
Officially?
It was not, we were not together, because we didn't meet till now, personally. But I sent you a rose home.
Yeah.
And I tell you something, guys, that's the thing. Do that. And of course some other things I also sent you in between already.
Yeah, also, like, we were always writing, but sometimes I have until now, he wrote like I love you on a piece of paper with million little hearts on it, and he cut it in 3, and he sent me 3 different letters. It was like puzzle, and they came like one by one, and then I could put it together. It was so cute.
I completely forgot about it, but it's true.
I have a favorite teddy bear. It's a rabbit. from my childhood, Bobek. And
The Bobek.
The Bobek. And he's like my favorite teddy from since I was 3 I got him. And he was always there on my bed or somewhere on the sofa in my room. And once when we met, then he gave me one of his t-shirts and I dressed Bobek in it. And then I was cuddling him and it was very long time smelling, but then I smelled all of the smell out of it already.
You sniffed the smell out. Sounds really bad.
I think smell is a really important sense, and I think, for example, if I would have a long distance relationship and I would not meet that guy yet, and he would send me a t-shirt with the perfume that he's wearing or something, I think that would be amazing.
But what if you don't like that perfume?
That is not so amazing.
What if it smells funny? I think it's a bit creepy then, but okay.
Then I can at least tell him that he should switch it before we meet. Okay, but I still think it's a perfect idea.
I also think so. Like some little gifts and little packages doesn't have to be expensive or something. It can be a letter.
I show you one thing. It's here in the office.
What?
Second.
It's here in the office.
Here I am,
Rocking like a hurricane. Yeah, that's from you.
That's also something I sent you.
It's just a heart from leather. I don't know if you can see it. It's very simple made, but it was so cute that you gave it to me.
It's just about these little things. Then he still has it 7 years later. I just made it in the summer job camping for kids, and they were making a lot of things there, and I was thinking about Danny, and I was sitting there and I made it and I sent it to him, and that's just that little thing.
Exactly. One another thing I have to say is also there's one big minus in long distance relationship: intimacy.
Oh yeah.
Intimacy is missing. If you are not able to meet quite often, if it's not like that, and you have to really like wait, for example, like he said, for 1 year maybe even without meeting once. I don't know if they meet in between, but intimacy, cuddling, kissing, smelling each other,
just at all, yeah, the context,
sex, everything.
Yeah.
This intimacy is, of course, it gives a relationship, at least I have it like that. You feel more connected with a person. If you don't have that, it's really hard.
Yeah, especially if you are that kind of person that needs that physical contact, and if that physical touch is your language of love. Because some people need it more and some people need it less.
No.
But maybe you can also let the other person know that you miss these things, and maybe you can at least say like, oh, now I would want to hug you so much or something. At least let the, I know it's sad, but at least it's like not completely cold.
And I have another thing, and it's maybe a bit hard, and I don't know if it is possible for everyone, but for us it was happily, we are very thankful for that. It was possible that we meet every now and then in this long distance relationship, because it is really hard.
That's not always easy.
Yeah,
but you should try your best.
I mean, I was in Germany and Simi was in Slovakia. This is at least on the same continent. I mean, it's still 1,100 kilometers far from each other away. But I mean, I can imagine it that it is not that easy if you have to fly from Mexico to Sweden, for example. From Sweden to Mexico, it's just the plane is very expensive, I bet, to even go there and so on. I think it is not so easy to do that. But if it is possible somehow, then try to really meet as often as possible somehow.
And maybe you can even make it like a plan together. Like make together a plan to save money to meet, and maybe if it's like too far away, you can even meet somewhere in the middle. Like plan some trip together, save together for it, talk about it, be happy, have that goal, and then go on that trip together and meet.
We also kind of did it like that in Vienna when we met the first time.
Yeah.
It's also
we met
quite
in Austria. Also, if you are younger, maybe that your parents are supportive and that you have these feelings and they are real feelings.
I was also living at home that time when we met, and you was also living at home.
Yeah, it was also very nice from your parents, for example. When I came, I always could stay there in their place.
Yeah.
That's very important to have support of the family, to have support of the friends.
It really depends on a lot of things, and it can be really much more harder than we had it. We know that. That's why we open again this conversation with you guys. So if you have your own experiences, your own stories, your own solution for it, and you can just write it in the comments and we have a big conversation
I always
together.
love when that's happening then in the comment section. The most important is, of course, to know that long distance relationships should be temporary.
Yeah.
It should be, because if it's really like taking way too long, you should also, of course, reconsider if it is worth it. I know that you love that person and it's not easy, but it should be possible in one point in your life that you are going to be together, and that will also take compromise and it will take some consequences.
And some work.
Yeah.
Definitely. I also think
you also
so.
had to move to a stupid country because of me.
Yeah, it is just like that, and I think, yeah, as Simi said, how long do you want to be in a long distance relationship till it's not like too long already? And I mean, of course it breaks your heart maybe, or another one's heart, but the main goal should be that you somewhere come together, and as long you see that on the horizon somewhere, it is worth it for a person you love to do that, of course, totally. Let's put it still quickly together. So our tips are: communicate all the time, build up trust, meet as often as possible, send maybe small little gifts and presents or letters to each other,
have goals together,
have goals and dreams together,
talk about future,
exactly,
and don't
give up.
give up. And don't be jealous.
Don't be jealous, would help, but it's hard.
And we have another video on that.
We have another video on that, but just look for it. We hope you could benefit yourself from it a little bit.
If you're interested in our Instagrams, then Danny and
Simi and together.
Yeah.
I feel like on the airport, it's like
there.
Send us an email. You can send something to the PO box if you want to write.
If you want to be on the wall. Thank you so much, guys. We love you a million times, and stay strong and make it together.
You can do it.
Yo.
But really, you can really do it. So it will be over once.
Go send your long distance partner a little present now. Ahoj!
R2D2 is saying goodbye as well. Ahoj!
What about to actually show him or her, the person that is jealous, that you are